I must say that before I went to the US, I didn't consciously identify as African. I must say that before I went to the US, I didn't consciously identify as African. But in the US, whenever Africa came up, people turned to me, never mind that I knew nothing about places like Namibia.
Quick question, do Africans in Africa, I'm speaking very generally here, but from your knowledge, I went to school in Nigeria for a year. I don't know who else went to school in Nigeria for some time. Okay. Do they learn about slavery?
Have you even finished learning about Nigeria? Okay. The system is very much so based on the British system a lot of times, or it's based on religion. So a lot of times that's what we're learning about. I did not know anything about the history of Nigeria, not to talk of African Americans or the slave trade or anything like that.
Okay.
So it wasn't part of our curriculum, and that's sort of another thing I wanted to bring up. I think even the African American reaction to African people coming in is a root of, it's from ignorance as well.
I must say that before I went to the US, I didn't consciously identify as African.
So I was talking about how when I got here when I was 9, coming to the US, it was like a complete culture shock. And I actually hadn't heard about slavery until I came to the US. I hadn't heard about the Middle Passage. They didn't teach me that in Nigeria when we had to learn about the Biafran War, you know, our own civil war that happened 30 years previous. So coming to the US is when I actually started understanding race too, because I didn't know about race in Nigeria because we were the default. Everybody's black. So we have to talk about race in class because everyone looked like us. So the concept of being black wasn't real to me until I came to the US.
You are not black, you are not Akata, we are Nigerian. We know where we come from, we are not waywards.
I must say that before I went to the US, I didn't consciously identify as African.
A lot of Nigerians and a lot of Ghanaians will come here and have to start their lives over. And somehow they do, and they succeed. You know, in their country, they might be doctors. They come to the US, they're taxi drivers. Give them 5, 6 years, they're doctors again. So a lot of those Africans and those West Africans, especially the older ones, are kind of like, if we can come here, start from scratch and succeed, why can't the people who've already been here?
Africans have some type of superiority complex towards black people. They just don't like them. And I mean, a lot of people don't like black people for some reason. But I wanted to know why exactly my parents, why my Nigerian parents don't like black people. I mean, aren't we all black?
No, Ada, you are not black, you are not Akata, we are Nigerian. We know where we come from, we are not waywards.